Spark the hearts, unite with love. So the name spark, that came from, I fill up water from the side of the mountain by Ainsworth Hot Springs. There's a tap that comes out. I was filling up some water there a couple years ago, and I saw a man. I started talking with him. He was about 60 years old, retired. He originally lives in Kelowna. He's originally from Eastern Europe, so he had a heavy accent. Probably lighter because he lives in Kelowna. We were talking, and I was like, "Wow, good water, hey?" And he said, "Yeah, I always drink good water from the side of the road. I don't drink it from a tap." And there's reasons for that. When you compress water, it changes the viscosity. There's good reasons to drink fresh water. Water is very important. Our body is 75% water. It doesn't take a genius to realize that if our body is 75% water, doesn't it matter that you get the cleanest, purest water so that you can think and be healthy? And it's like, oh, I wonder why everyone's getting cancer and shit. And there's chlorine in the water. They used to use chlorine in World War II to kill people. You know, the amount that in fluoride in water is insane. They used that as well in World War II to tranquilize people's minds. It makes you docile so that you become a follower, so you don't think on your own. Anyways, we go into the hot springs, and there he is. So we start chatting. And then there's another woman from California joins in with us. And at one point they say, "What's your hip-hop name?" And I said, "Dazza." They said, "No, what's your real one?" I said, "I don't know what you mean." They said, "No, you know." And the guy, she's saying this, and the guy's like, "Yeah, mm-hmm." And I'm like, "What?" She said, "What's in your mind right now? What is it?" And I said, "I got a word in my mind, but..." She said, "What is it?" Sparkle, or so I said, "Spark." She said, "Yeah, sparkle." And he went, "Mm-hmm." And I went, "What?" What? So, spark. That's where it came from. I'm not one for changing names. I don't even like names, to be honest. If you meet me and you want to get to know me and whatever, and you get offended because I forget your name, I might just walk away from you. It's like there's bigger things in this world. Now, if I remember you and we get along and we hit it off and stuff, then sure, yeah, I will use your name. I'm not against names. I just think that there's more important things in this world than a fucking label. Labels? I got labeled dumb. I'm not a fan of labels. I grew up, went to my first kindergarten class, and it was overrun by lots, mostly boys, 2-to-1 boys to girls in my hometown. So there's about 65 boys and about 35 girls, almost 2-to-1. So there's about 100 kids, or just over. So lots of boys. And then I got put in one class, and there were so many, right? Like there was over 30 kids. There was only 2 classes. Maybe at that point back in kindergarten there was closer to 70 total kids. I don't know. But anyways, there was a lot of kids. It was overrun. And then I must have been the last kid to show up late, which would be normal for my mom. She likes to get there just on time. So I might have been the last kid in. I don't know why me. Maybe because I'm loud. Maybe because I'm outgoing. Maybe because these labels that people wanted to put on me because I'm the troubled kid or something. But anyways, I got sent to the other class. I'm like, okay, I'm kindergarten. It's like, classroom, kids everywhere. Okay, now you're in this classroom. And then, I don't know if it was a day later. I don't know. I don't remember. It was kindergarten. I ended up in a small room. And in that small room, they gave me a hammer and a board with nails. I remember hammering the nails in, and then you'd hit them, and every nail that was farther in made a different sound. It's like, dong, 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 dong. And I was in a small room by myself. That's all I remember. And then from that point on, my whole entire school was like, I was in the handicap room, or I would always be in the hallway, or I'd always have special rules for me, or it was always like everyone else. Oh, and then Daryl. Why? I never got no label. You know, I guess I'm lucky. I never got called ADHD or attention deficit, nothing, no label. But from kindergarten to grade 12, I had a special place I was to go, just in case I got mad, or I got in trouble a lot, and so that fucked with my head. I go into the school ground, it ostracized me from the other kids, there was lots of boys, lots of bullying. I ended up fighting basically every boy in my grade, or say half of them. I got in hundreds of fights, and often daily, and anyone who knows me, a lot of people are like, what, you? I'm soft and gentle, I'm a poet. I'm the most gentle, kind, you know, whatever, those are even labels. I just am. I just love people. I cry, you know, or whatever. Like, I'm tough. I work out. I don't cry. I got raised as a redneck, so I learned all those tactics. I'm an actor, though, you see. I don't know if you go into horoscope, but I'm triple Gemini. My Venus, my Mercury, and my Sun are all Gemini. And they're all in conjunction in a straight line. They're all sitting at 0. I am like the actor, communicator. So I would just probably pretend myself to be tough, pretend to, you know, so I got in lots of fights. And so, yeah, that's how I got the name Spark, through the water connection, and sort of how my school started. By the time I got into, probably by grade 7, I had been in, you know, lots of fights, and then just soon after that, it was like more and more ramping up. In elementary school, I was one of the most popular kids, and as I got into grade 6 and grade 7, I started getting ostracized heavily and depressed, probably because all the concussions that started happening. And by the time I hit grade 9, I got suspended in grade 9 11 times, indefinitely suspended and expelled from school. I would tell like 3 different teachers I told to fuck off. I got in fights in classrooms. 2 that I can think of. In science class, I got in a fight in class, and then in English class, I got in a fight in class. My teacher was kind of nutty, and I had "she's a whore" written on the front of my binder, and then she saw it, and I got suspended. I would do stupid shit. Like, I was standing outside, and I threw a snowball at a car. Like, I looked over, and the principal was standing there. It was like the first snow day. I picked it up. I looked over. He was right there. Threw it at a car. He saw me, suspended me. I was like, good. I get to go home. Just ignorant. I just didn't care. It was so ridiculous. It wasn't teaching me anything. And now, as it turns out, that I'm actually really smart. You know, I believe we're all equally intelligent. We just think differently. But my intelligence is with words. And that's a very powerful intelligence, to be able to speak. You know, Bill Gates is a public speaker. Steve Jobs is a public speaker. You know, that Bezos guy, he's a public speaker. Like, you know, you name someone who's a public speaker who's not fucking powerful. Elon Musk is a public speaker. They're more than just that, of course, but essentially they're public speakers. So, yeah, that's how I got named Spark. And the concussions that I faced. Leave it there.